Hi guys, so today I want to do a quick book review on Lock Every Door by Riley Sager. I hope I'm saying that correctly. It's a thriller book. It's about a girl named Jules who's just kind of down on her luck. She's just tragedy after tragedy just has occurred in her life. She loses her job and just all this horrible sort of sad stuff happens. But she comes across a job listing buried deep on Craigslist that seems almost good to be true, and she applies and she gets it. So basically she becomes a house sitter in this place called the Bartholomew, which is basically Manhattan's most high profile luxurious place. So again, it seems too good to be true. So she goes to this interview, she gets the job. She's just a house sitter. She just gets paid $1,000 a week to make this place seem lively. So when she first gets there, she's just trying to get her feet wet and get used to the place. And she meets another house sitter, Ingrid. And so they start talking to each other, get to know each other, they hang out, and they decide that, this could be cool. They have a little nickname for each other, and it's all great. So they go about their way, and so during Jules's first night, she hears a scream, and she thinks it's coming from Ingrid's room. So she runs down and she goes and checks on her, and Ingrid's answers the door, and it's real sketchy, and it throws Jules off. She gets weird vibes. She's not really sure that Ingrid's okay, but she's like, all right, well, I don't really know her, so I'll just check on her in the morning. We're supposed to meet. It'll be fine. So she goes to bed, and she just gets these weird sort of vibes from the apartment itself. But, I mean, hey, it's a new place to live. So she just kind of goes with it. So she wakes up the next morning, and she goes out, and she tries to go to that spot where she's supposed to meet Ingrid, and Ingrid doesn't show up. So that obviously raised red flags for her. And she starts to dig into the history of the Bartholomew, the people, and just tries to uncover the background story. So that's the main sort of gist and why it's a thriller, is because it's essentially a mystery. She's trying to figure out what the heck's going on in this, rich, fancy place. I read a lot of reviews about this book. I watched a bunch of videos, and I saw a lot of mixed reviews. On Goodreads it has a 3.93 rating, which isn't bad, but it's not great. Some people I've watched really liked it, and others didn't. So I kind of was hesitant, but a good friend of mine actually bought this book, so it's like, hey, I'll give it a shot. It's something to read, and it seems kind of interesting. Everybody loves a good thriller. So I jumped right into it, and I, to be honest, couldn't put it down. The writing style of it is very interesting. It's a very back and forth sort of style. So you start out in the past or in the future, where it's a Jules dialogue and she's explaining what's happening, and then you jump back 6 days, and then you jump forward to the present, and then you jump back 5 days, and you go back and forth, and then towards the end of the book you jump from the present to the future, and then it switches, and then it's 2 days later, and it's 4 days later, and it's 6 days later. And it tells a story over the span of probably about 12 days. So that style was different for me, because I've never read a Riley Sager book, but it was interesting. And I think that's what really drew me in. Not to mention at first I thought this book was very predictable. And then there's a twist. So I was very convinced on this one plot line and this one story, and I could tell almost immediately, this is what it is. I know exactly what's going to happen. And the book kind of leads you to think that. And then all of a sudden, it's like, oh, well, just kidding. Over here, look. So that threw me off. I don't know about other people, but for me, it threw me completely off. And I loved it. Yeah, that's all I can say in terms of a non-spoiler review. So if you don't want spoilers, I'd stop now. If you want spoilers, I'm going to go for probably another 3 or so minutes and just talk about the ending of the book. Okay, stop watching if you don't want spoilers. So, from the beginning, I had funny feelings about Nick. He was too daggone friendly. Now, did I know that Ingrid had cut Jules on purpose? No. But Nick just rubbed me the wrong way. I didn't like him. He was just, nobody is that friendly ever. And it was like, the author was kind of like, here, like, this is the problem. Here it is. And I jumped at it. I knew immediately Nick had something to do with this. Leslie seemed real sketchy. I just, something was off. Especially when Jules went to Nick's house, or Nick's apartment, and was like, the family history and the photo album, and it just didn't sit right. I love the fact that this book went so far left that it almost isn't plausible. Like, I don't think anybody would suspect black market organ transplants. Like, who thinks of that? Like, it's just so like, who thinks of that? And so for me, I really like the fact that it did that, because that's not something I would think about. Like, I'm thinking, oh, I don't know, like, it's just maybe paranormal. Maybe he's just a serial killer. He just gets off on killing people and knows he's going to get away with it because his family's rich. Like, he's a doctor, so he knows how to kill people. Like, and that's just my morbid brain, maybe. But, like, black market organ transplants? Really? So, again, for me, great. I love the twist. I love the turns. It kept me on my feet the entire time. And for someone else, maybe that's just so unplausible that I'm not buying it, and I think it's a terrible twist. I get that. For me, I'd give this a 4.5 out of 5 stars, because I just didn't know where it was going. I thought I knew. I was like, oh, I'm not going to finish this book. Like, whatever. I'm glad I finished this book, because quite frankly, the twists and turns of it are amazing. Okay. Thank you for watching this video. Comment down below what you thought of the book. I'd love to hear people's feedback. And yeah, hope you have a great day.